Hey everybody, it's Flat Earth Santa with the panel back. It's Wednesday. It's what not, why not time. We've already got our panelist in for tonight. We've got Skippin' Stones, we've got Punisher Rider, and we've got Soda Pop Comics. A couple might still join, but that's what we've got right now. Um, hey everybody in the chat, we've got Matt, Heroes for Hire Comic Club. We've got Winter Soldier coming in. All right. Well, we've got some cool topics to talk about tonight, but Punisher said he wants to make an announcement, so let's hear it, Mr. Punisher.
I have been waiting till tonight to make this announcement. Me, Surtur, and JS Les, known as the NWO, have decided it's time to add a new member.
Oh,
And Richard Soder, we want
No
you to be a
shit.
new member of the NWO, my
No
brother.
shit. Hell yeah, man. Fuck
Yes.
yeah, dude.
You
I
know,
love you
you
guys.
carry the attitude. You have that beautiful bald head, and you know
Fuck
what?
yeah.
The NWO just isn't about the name and funny. It's about an attitude.
You
It's
damn
about
fucking right.
so we talked about it. We couldn't be more thrilled to bring you into the NWO, my brother.
I am fucking honored, guys. Thank you so much. Oh yeah.
How
Fuck yes.
exciting.
Yes.
I've
What
been
you gonna
waiting
do,
days, my
bird?
friend. Me and
Yeah.
JS Les and Surtur were like, fuck yes. So, as me and JS Les, the founding members of the NWO, we decided that we spent over a year. It's time to add a new member. So,
Fuck yeah. Dude, I'm X-Pac. I'm in. I am in.
yeah,
Fuck
me too,
yes.
Pilsner. Yeah,
Good
I thought
enough.
the same thing.
Man, honored. Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
That is fucking cool.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right. So we've got a couple cool topics to start tonight off. First thing is sales tactics. Ideas on uh, how you get your stuff across. The reason I put it down is I saw a couple bad sales tactics that I'm not a big fan of. Um, but I'll let the panel, say what they like, what they don't like. Um, the one that I didn't like is when I hear people say, "Oh, this is a $300 book in high grade." Well, it's not high grade, so I'm just not a big fan of that type of thing. But again, that's my personal. So let's see. Let's go around the horn, starting with Skipping. Um, your sales tactics, your sales things that work for you, and the ones you do, and also on the flip side, which kind you don't like.
Well, I have to agree with you on what you just said. I don't like that at all. But what I do is I tell, I try and show the book to the best of my ability, going over the spine and the edges, and I've started opening some of the more older books and showing that they're intact or not intact. And really just trying to display the book to the best condition. I mean, in the condition that it is, to the best of my ability, so that way the buyer or anybody who chooses to bid on it can feel comfortable in their bid. Um, I let them be the judge. I don't assign any value. First off, I'm clueless. Second off, I know how to look it up. I know how to try and give it some sort of value, but that I don't feel that that's really an expertise of mine, nor something I want to do. I don't want to overpromise, or I would rather let them do the deciding and just start it at $1. That's what works for me. What I don't like is when people scream and I don't like it when they're sitting there saying that, oh, they're losing money, and kind of guilt trip you. No, it's one thing if it's like, oh, this goes for like, this typically goes for more, maybe a little bit of that is fine, but I don't like it when they start getting mad and huffy and are upset that their book didn't go from as what they wanted. Start at what you want. If you're satisfied with the starting price, then that's good. That's been my whole motto. I'm happy with whatever I get, right? Sure, it's great when I get more, but and I absolutely hate it when they start screaming at you. I absolutely hate it. I will leave the stream. I won't go back. That's my sales picture.
Yep. Punisher, sales tactics that you like, sales tactics that you don't like.
I'm gonna go with the don't like first. I don't like the guilt tripping or acting like you just screwed them over when they started it at $1 or they started it at a certain price that they didn't want to sell it at. Listen, if you're gonna start it at that price, you better be prepared to sell it for that price. And the whining, crying, bitching, moaning, whatever it is, we've talked about this in the long term. It ain't about that one book. It's about the overall. So you're going to make up on some and you're going to lose on some. I mean, that's part of the game. We've talked about this before. Like a lot of the streams, a lot of the stuff we've been talking about all adds up together. Sales tact, watch your chat. Know who's in your room. Know when to push certain things. Set your bin up. If I don't do it for me, except for some exclusives, but set yourself up, set a bin, get those pre-bids. That's a sales tactic. Watch the room, have a certain giveaway. Now, I want to talk about that as a giveaway. I am seeing a lot of newer sellers making $55 in their show and giving away a $40 book as a giveaway, buyer's giveaway. That makes no sense to me. Okay. It's still a giveaway. Okay. It doesn't have, you don't get into that mix where you've got to give away a PS5 or a Switch. Yes, I've given away a PS Portal, but it was a big show. I've had it planned. I prepared. I was established. So just be aware of what you're doing. Wait, too many people want to be like this person and have this many people in their room and have this much sales, but you got to put the work in and get to that point. It's not going to happen instantly. And unfortunately, in today's society, they come into Whatnot, they get a couple boosts, they get maybe one or two shows in where the Whatnot and the algorithms boosting them, and they think, okay, this is the way it's always going to be. Well, guess what? If you don't put the work in, you don't sit there and go around Whatnot, make yourself known, all that stuff, you're going to find out real quick that 30 person room you had is going to go down to 2 real fast. And if you don't put the effort in and you don't put the work in, then your sales ain't going to be there either. So be smart. Wait till special moments. If you're gonna give something away like a PS5, you're gonna give something away, make sure that you sell enough books in that stream to pay for that. You are already $200, $300, $400 in the hole when you do that. So that's part of sales tactics too, is if you want to put something big to bring people in, you better make sure you sell enough to do it. And I believe rotating your books out, don't show the same shit all the time, and making sure that just because I say this almost every single week, just because a book doesn't sell at 2 doesn't mean it won't sell at 2:30 or at 4:30. Okay? Don't get yourself all worked up because a book didn't sell the first time you showed it.
Okay. Mr. Soder, sale tactic that you like, sales tactics that you don't like. And it could have been things like things that you like that you don't necessarily use in your streams. I was just saying ones you like that you think new people should look at.
Well, for me, and I can only speak for myself. I'm very particular in who I buy from, and because I've got burnt just like everybody else, and that's why I'm on here trying to help newer sellers not make the same mistakes that other people are doing. But for me, I'm going to start with the things I like that I do that is a sale technique, and that's honestly what the big one is: be myself. I'm a shit talker, and I consider myself somewhat halfway fucking funny. So I have little catchphrases, sayings that just pop into my head, and some of them stick. Like, don't do me dirty, you bastards, and um, what's the other one? Oh, when I'm showing the corners, that's a corner that a hooker would be proud to work on, and just things like that that people have been catching on, and they message me after the show with like little quotes of some of the stupid shit I say in my show. Part of it's just entertainment. That's a good selling technique. If you're entertaining people, yeah, they might leave, go check out somebody else's stream, but they're always coming back and they're putting the pre-bids in, and um, that's been a big difference for me. The other thing is I list out my books. So a sales technique for me is, instead of me just running a bunch of random books that I don't know if people are going to want, or the people that are in the room are wanting at that time, to optimize my sales, having that listed. So when I got a big stack of the pre-bids already sitting next to me, um, I'm running those as they go up, the ones that got the higher pre-bids. And then when people are asking for the ones that they already pre-bid in, I got them hooked. So that point, I know I'm going to get a higher margin on that book, because not only is the bookmarks in there, they're also requesting it on top of it. And then the ones at the end of the show, it's, I just pepper them in, or I just cut the show. If nobody's interested, I just save myself some time that I can package on. So I'm maximizing my profit margins by doing it that way. It takes more time on the front end, but I'm making more money on the back end. Another thing that I find is really helpful is having somebody that I can pair off with, like having Mel there. It's seamless. She talks shit, I talk shit back. She gives a little dirty, not nasty, sexual remark. You know, I pretend like I'm blushing, and she'll show me her boobs in the background and nobody can see, and it's pips me up a little bit. And the more energized I am, the more I can sell and be entertaining and keep people engaged. That's stuff that's just fun. And the other thing is, like, Skipping Stones was saying, I show every book off. The older books, or the higher price books, I'll take them out of the bag and board, show front, back, all the corners, both sets of the staples, front and back, and then the inside staples. Just because the older books, those are the ones that usually go for a higher premium too. Plus, the conditions tend to be, somewhat more sketchy because of the age. So you just want to make sure people understand what they're buying. Grading is subjective, so I let people make their own decisions on what their preference of the grade is, whether it's good enough for them or not, and not just my opinion, because they don't always matter. What I don't like is the screamers now, and the people that bitch that they lost money. Now, there's a caveat to that. I sometimes say, oh shit, I lost my ass on that one. Great job. You just got a great deal. And then, I'll remind people, hey, you're getting deals in this show. Somebody just got this book for this amount of money. I'll mention that later. And that's why people are coming back too, because I'm getting nowhere near fair market value, which I'm not concerned about. I just won't sell a book if I'm not at where my profit margin needs to be. So I won't even run it. So I'm not concerned about losing my ass. It's only happened twice where I've actually lost my ass. But that being said, I want people to know, hey, in my show, you're getting the deals. Great job. Ooh, that one hurt a little bit. Congratulations. You just got yourself a great deal. There's a difference between doing that and guilting people into doing it. Like, don't do me dirty, you bastards, is a catchphrase. They're going to pay for it what they want. Whoever starts a book at whatever price they started at, you're taking the risk on your own. You have to be comfortable starting it where you started. If you are not comfortable where it's at, don't fucking start it, period. That's on you, not the buyer. The buyer is trying to find the book he wants at the best deal possible in the condition he's close to what he's looking for, period. You have to understand that. So don't bitch, don't moan, don't list it at what you're not comfortable for, period.
Okay. I'm gonna name off some techniques that I've seen in other streams. You tell me whether just shout out whether you like it or you don't like them. The running stackers, meaning you put multiple books. Uh, when it hits a specific bid number, you add another book. When it hits another milestone in the bidding, you hit another book. Yes, no.
I'm good for that. I've seen Robot Monster Island. I've done it. I mean, it depends on the moment. I mean, I run my show. You've been in my show, and a lot of everybody's been in my show here. I'm all over the board with what I do. It just depends on how I feel at that moment on what I want to do. So I
And it
don't really
depends
have
on
an
what you're
issue with
trying
it.
to get rid of.
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get an idea out to some of the people that there are different techniques. Is what I'm saying. And
Oh
whether
yeah, that's a
you
good
use them or
technique.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I've
done
done
that
it.
a few. Yeah, I've done that a few times too. Is especially if I see that maybe getting higher than I anticipated, and I got another one in the run that's right next to it, and I'll throw it in, and then towards the second half, and if they add a little bit more, that's great. Um, and so I've done that a few times myself, but I'm kind of on the fence on it as far as maybe doing that as your whole way of show.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that that's the best way to do things on the large scheme, but for maybe a run or something like that, or maybe a segment of your show, I suppose that's not so bad. But you're not able to. I mean, it's I would say because you're not able to really show the condition when you're doing that of the second book and the third book,
Mhm.
and that can be somewhat deceptive to the buyer. Um, if you show the first book or whatever, and then you're just like stacking, you're not. And I'll be cautious as a buyer doing that because you get a little excited. Oh, he's got that one. Oh, he's throwing that one, and oh, he's throwing that one in. Well, with used books, I mean, it's fine with new ones, right? More so than or ones that the seller knows that they're really good condition, but still, as a buyer, you don't know. You just don't know if it's in that great of condition when they're just stacking it and you're just swiping, stack and swipe and stack, swipe. And you get kind of caught up in the moment and you could lose your ass as the buyer and be disappointed. And then you're upset with the seller for selling you books that maybe aren't in the best grade. And really you have yourself to blame and share that responsibility in. So it's kind of like, eh, uh, eh, maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah, like Pilsner saying, I think it's more for run filler books where, you know, fair market value, quote unquote, is $10, but seriously, it's either a dollar bin or a $3 or $5 book. We're not talking. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that for higher value books. Like I said, this is probably more for like run filler or trying to get some of the stuff that you're not going to be able to run in your regular shows that you run. It's to me, it's on par with doing a fill in a medium short box type of thing. You're not showing off every book when you're doing that. You're just throwing books in there.
Right.
So basically, they're buying bulk, and the higher it goes, the more bulk they're getting. So I wouldn't necessarily want to show off. When I do those shows, and I haven't done one in a while, but it's more to get rid of my run filler or my runs that I'm not going to be able to sell individually for the margins that I'm going to get. So if I sell it for $1 singly, I'm making what, 53 cents, 48 cents, something like that. Where if I
Maybe.
can sell them all in bulk, I can get rid of 5 for 6. My profit margins are increased.
Okay.
So that's
Significantly.
yeah. So that's where, as a seller, don't do it for your higher value books. Do it for run filler and just random stuff that you want to get rid of where somebody else might be looking for bulk.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Next sort of technique is sort of double the price that you claim the book is, and then and say, oh, but I'm going to run it for, and it ends up being about either FMV or just under FMV. I see that a lot.
That's
What's your
bad.
take?
That's
That
bullshit. If
that's
you're
bad.
doing that intentionally, market goes up and down because I mentioned what the last time I looked at the book was, but if you're doing it intentionally to mislead, that's bullshit. I hate it at comic shows. I hate it on whatnot. Yeah, not a
I
fan.
hate it in any level of business, whether it's online or otherwise. When I go to a store and I see that they've upped the price to put a sale price on it, I tend to not shop at that store no more. You know, especially like around the holidays, or when they're having a big sale, they'll increase the price and then they put it on sale the following week or whatever. um and or even at the sale they'll say it's normally $9.99 and they'll say it's $14.99, but it's on sale and it's for $8.99. Yeah, it's on $8.99, but you're not really getting 50% off or 40% off. I've seen that happen a lot in marketing, and I've seen it done on whatnot, and I steer clear. I because it comes to trust, and when I'm going to spend my money with you, yeah, I'm getting a product and all that. And unless it's something that I really, really, really want, if I see you doing that, my trust is already just depleted in you.
Yeah, and I've seen
Everything,
it too.
everything going forward, I don't know that you're going to be honest. If you're not honest about the value up front, are you going to be honest about every other aspect of doing the transaction?
Yeah, and part of that's ignorance too, on especially on new sellers. You know, they're doing is when they're given those high prices, they're like 9.8 prices, where actually the book that they're trying to sell is more along the lines of like a 6.5. So I don't know if they're doing that. Some of them are doing it intentionally, or just some of them are doing it out of ignorance. The fair market value, what you're spewing out there, should be based on generalized condition or rough grading of what that book is, because a 9.8 and a 6.5 on a big book, there's a vastly different price difference. So again, some of it might not be done intentionally, but still you have to do it the right way.
Okay, Punisher, any thoughts on it?
Sorry, I was taking care of something. You can just skip
Yep.
me for this.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, the next one. Again, I'm just bringing up techniques that I've seen. Um, begging for bids. Where people are like, "Come on, like this is not a $20 book. This is a 50. This is a $100 book. Get it up there, bro. Whatever." Just begging for bids constantly is not like I see it as a sales tactic. I actually see it as a tactic for some odd reason.
Yeah, I've seen that too. And
The only thing you
I,
should ever say is if Flat Earth is bidding, you should be bidding too.
Exactly.
Stop,
Every day,
stop,
especially on
stop
Solar
that.
Pop Show.
Yeah,
Especially on Solar Pop Show, yes.
I'm creating a new account and you will never ever know who it is.
Right. So okay, I if it's done consistently, I mean it's okay to say that this is a $20 book, guys. Come on, let's see if we can do any better. That's different than begging throughout the whole show, and to me that goes along with guilt tripping people. You don't want to guilt trip people into buying your books. It's okay to educate them, but again, once you say something, you should be doing that on every book and every show, But again, our job is to educate as sellers. Maybe they don't know, and that's okay too. But the pressure sales tactics is like the dirty used car salesman. Steer clear
exactly.
of that shit.
Okay. Um, Next one. I know Skippin's done it. I've seen it in other shows as well. I don't know if it was they saw it in yours and used it or they did it before. Doesn't really matter. But the lightning round. The idea
Oh,
that you've got a quick uh, if you keep going on possibly people have done it where books that didn't sell, so they put them at the lightning round at $1. Let's say they didn't sell for 5 or whatever before, they put it in the lightning round. Whoever doesn't You do it till somebody doesn't buy again, and then the lightning round is over. So obviously, Skippin uses it, but what's your thoughts on it?
Well, with me, when I do it, I make sure that it's all dead stock inventory. It's not inventory that's been circulated and pre-loved. Um, that came out as a game that developed. It was not something that necessarily I even thought. I don't even think I planned it or thought it. It was just something that was like, let's do sudden death, and it just became a thing. And I start everything at $1. So, you know, and like I said, I only do it with dead stock. And the game goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on if I don't put a stipulation. If I run out of stickers, my sheet, put a limit, whether it's 25 I have left on that sheet or 50 I have on that sheet, and or if nobody bids. Now, when I notice that I've got grenade, a title that's a grenade jumper, I will toss that aside. I won't run it again in that forum, right? Or I will, if the next title is the same title and I catch that one of my peeps are grenade jumping on it, I won't do that. I don't want them. I don't want them grenade jumping, but it's kind of a fun thing to do. And the one thing I don't really like that people are bidding when they don't want to bid on something.
Well, this is why.
Even though I do it, I'll do it, and then a lot of times I'll say, okay, this, so it doesn't bid, they don't jump on it. I'll give second chances, and we'll continue it if I'm in the mood. If I'm not really feeling it, or my stack is getting really low, right, and I'm getting ready where I've got to reach over and grab some more and start filtering through books as I'm doing it, and so I'm reserved on the situation. I do like doing the 10-second sudden death on those kind of books. But again, I don't necessarily like it where they jump on the grenade to get the next book. Sometimes it's fun and it's okay if you're only spending $1, it's only $1, right? So it's kind of part of the game. But again, I don't want people doing it just on the large scheme of things, right? If I've got a run of just crap, and it's clearly that I'm having more grenade jumping than needs to be, then I literally, I'm tossing books to the side constantly during the thing. If it looks like it's something I know it's one of those rough titles that just don't sell,
Mhm.
right? And sometimes on the next show, I'll let one slide in because there might be someone in the room that collects that now versus what there was, the show before. And then if it still is like a grenade jump, I toss that title aside. And yes, so there will probably be some books that I end up having to find a home for in one way or another, whether it's in the giveaway, random giveaways that I give away, and I just send out a free comic or a free, sticker pack or a free card pack. I'll filter some of those in for the people that don't buy anything. I try not to add those to my winners of the buyers, not my buyer giveaways, but buyers that win the random giveaways. I grab off the top of my stack and I'll give them books off the top of my stack.
Okay. All right.
Right. But so that's how I get rid of some of those books that I know are more grenade jumpers. But do it with caution is all I'm saying. If you're going to do it with caution and be selective about the books you're choosing, because you don't want your people just to be jumping on it. So hopefully that they get a good book in there. But I do try, when I'm doing that, and I have a stack of titles such as the Dave Stevens books, and I've even throw some of the Mega Threes in my rapid fire thing. And so that way there is that pop of a big book, and I am happy when they get it for maybe less than they would have got it under a fuller time than the 10-second rapid fire. And it's kind of fun because it keeps everyone on their toes. So I do grab a few good key books that I know especially if I'm seeing a lot of $1 sales during that, then I'll throw one in. And if someone gets a $50, what would normally sell for 30, 40, $50 for $1 even, or $6, I'm like, pow, good luck. I mean, congratulations. And I truly am happy for them.
Okay. Yep. Like that. The reason I brought it up was because Soder was talking about, sometimes he has books at the end. And this might be an idea to say, okay, well, it didn't go for 3 or 4, but it might go for $1 in a
Oh, we've done that, and we've done we just combine them all, and what the $3 would be for like 7 books is 21. I'll just run them all for 12 or something like that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But oh, and by the way, in the chat, thanks Zilla, it's actually working out really freaking well for us since we started doing that.
Yep. Cool. Punisher, are you still
For me to start a dollar book is you have a better chance of finding a unicorn. I don't think it works good for me. I don't believe I've ever done it in my show personally. I feel like I move fast enough. My shows are very, very quick. We're constantly moving. It's bam, 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 bam. And for me, I personally, for myself, personal self, it makes no sense for me to start a book at $1 and sell it for $1 because after fees, the cost, I mean, I know I probably paid $1 or more for that book. Or even if I got it into a thing, even say if I even paid 75 cents for it, it doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather sell it for $2 than sell it for $1.
Well, I'm just saying $1 as an
No, no,
example.
no. And
Doesn't have to be that.
I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anybody else. Everybody's situation's different.
Yeah.
To me, thinking the business side of it, it doesn't make sense for me to do it because I am not okay with starting it at $1 and selling it for $1.
Well, what I see usually, and
I'd rather give
I
it
agree with
away. I'd rather give it away because anybody that's ever got anything from me has always gotten free books or something free. I'd rather give it away to people that buy. I'd rather do it as a giveaway that I can write off than sell it for $1, which I already lost money on it. Then I pay fees. Then I'm paying whatnot money on that. Then the transaction that I'm already out, $1.50, $3 already for that book, no matter what I paid for it. How many times can you do that to be successful?
I agree with you. What I've seen though in a lot of the rapid fire, or not rapid fire, but on the lightning round stuff, especially when it's like in a lightning round, where let's say, like a good examples, the eclectic nerd, they start a lot of their stuff for $5, and the stuff that doesn't sell, they do it for $1. And usually, what happens is 2 people click it at the same time when it's $1, and usually it goes to 2 pretty much instantly, right? I'm not saying that'll happen all the time. I'm not saying that's an idea. I'm saying
And don't
you
get me wrong,
started
I
it big.
like it. I like being in shows when rapid fire's going on. I love sudden death. I absolutely love sudden death. I would prefer to do sudden death auctions for me
Me too.
buying as a buyer,
Me too. That was my
100%.
next one. My
But
next
as a seller, depending on your situation and depending on what you're trying to sell, to me it doesn't make sense. As for me, it doesn't make
Mhm.
sense for me. But say, for example, in other people's situations, it could make 100%. And I love Skipping's game. I love that we go to play in the numbers. I do. I absolutely love when it's in there. I love that it's sudden death. I do. As a buyer, I love it. But as a seller, my situation's different. So it just wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Can,
Hey,
can I say something on that real quick to everybody?
yep.
those of you that don't know, and I'm sure that most of you do that are here, but in case anybody's rewatching, I don't buy the books. My books are sent down and it's an estate clean out from my family. Do not follow that model if you are buying your books, because you will lose your ass. Just like you said, there are times when I get 43 cents out of that transaction.
Yep.
Don't do it if you're buying your own books unless you're buying them for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yep. I agree. They're unless you're buying big collections and you're as Skippin said, you're getting them as pennies on the dollar, and most stores usually get them for 10 cents. Yeah, you're not. But know your again. That goes back to knowing your numbers, and
Now I'm
That's
going to
it.
play devil's advocate here. I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
sure.
The other day, Mr. Omen Bids was trying to hit his 1,000 sales,
Hmm.
and Skippin paused her show. She asked me to go over. I went over. I red chatted him and said, "Listen, we had 36 sales." Of course, I used the famous line, "Do we get red chat on Skippin?" I don't need to share it,
Oh, I know what it is.
but but I told him dollar starts sudden death to get those 36 bids. Grab whatever amount of books, and I said, "Let's get this done." And and within what 15 minutes, Skipping, we had him at 1,000.
Yeah, we had him at 1,007, I think, as it was, or
Yeah,
1,010, and he's on cloud nine. He's now getting his automatic payouts. We got him to where he needs to be, but it was just for that short period of time that he did that, and we did it, and he got it there, and he probably lost a little bit of profit in that moment. Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't really watching the dollar amount for each sale on as it was happening. I was more focused on what was happening in the chat and what was happening on my show, as because I'm still communicating with people. I'm still running free giveaways. I'm still telling people as they're coming into my show to join everybody over at Omen's show. So I wasn't paying attention to what his dollar was, and nor did I ask him. So you might have caught more of that than I did. But yes, if you're trying to get to and you're like right there at the crest, and if that's really a huge goal of yours, throw those fucking books down for a few minutes. Take that little bit of a loss for that opportunity to crest that mountain, and then and then get back to your normal routine.
Yep.
And that was so much fun, and it was so exciting, and I'm so glad that I thought about it, because it was not a pre-planned thing. It was somebody had came in and said he's like 39 or 37 to his sales goal, and I was like, it just popped in my head. Let's do this. Let's make this happen for this kid, right? And Omen's owner is his name. Is such a good guy, and he's someone to be watched and to be maybe mentored, and I mean, he's a rising force, and he's going to do good things, and I highly encourage that everyone kind of check him out. He asks questions about how to best practices with packing. He's always asking tips and tricks, and I have encouraged him to watch the show, and those of us that have found him have really enjoyed his show, and he really wants to do good things, and in a good way. So if you haven't found him yet, Omen Bids, check him out.
I was a little worried, Skipping, because when I went in, I started taking over and telling him what to do, and I didn't know if he was going to start freaking out or not.
Yeah, he was so thankful he was on cloud nine. He messaged me over and over and over for the next like 2 days. He was just like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe, and he's like, I went to bed. He was texting me right before he went to sleep. He goes, I'm going to sleep so good tonight. I fall asleep with a smile on my face. And it was so fun to watch that happen, and not make it happen, but encourage it to happen. And I'm so thankful that many of my followers, and I gave everybody who bought a book from that point on, till and then he rated back into me. I had him send me a list of the sales, and I matched a book for every book that somebody bought. I just grabbed the next books off my stack, and I gave away, I think it was 43 books or something like that.
But
Something
that
like
just
that.
showed you how amazing this community can be,
Yeah,
and
it was.
that we have all helped or stuck together or done something to help someone else at our time here on Whatnot, and how strong we have grown. And like, you know, when something, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Skipping, but
It's okay.
when something bad happens in one of our lives, we all come together as a family and we're there for each other. And that showed last night, all the people that came into your room and were there, and different people that have had different tragedies or something in their lives. It's not just about comics, it's about family, and it's about
It is.
support and showing love. And I can tell you that I have met some of the most amazing people I have in the last 20 years on this app in the last 2 years.
Exactly. And I want to say something to add to that about Whatnot. Whatnot is a place where strangers become acquaintances, and acquaintances become friends, and friends become family. And that is the best gift that we are getting out of Whatnot.
And then some whatnotters try to run people over
Yeah,
with their.
over a truck. I know.
Listen,
I was told that
motherfucker,
was
you
out of nothing
survived.
but love, though.
Yeah, that was, yeah, exactly. He thought I was a protester. That's all.
He forgets to always mention, though, I saved his life the day before.
And my understanding, it was a love tap. It wasn't
Saved
running
the
over. It was a
life.
love tap.
We were in a big truck with seatbelts on. Eh, eh, we
That's a
bust him.
questionable statement there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, I love busting. It's fun. Um, he knows I thank him for it, but
By the
I
way, I
think
was giving him shit today. I'm like, where is the stuff for the show tonight?
yeah, I'm like, I'm out of clients. I'm trying to get back home.
I'm like, it's nothing but excuses, Santa. This shit should have been done.
There's supposed to be 6 inches of snow coming tonight. I'm like, I want to get home. Let me get home before it starts. But yeah, um, the next topic that we had, geez, I gotta pull it up again because I forgot it now. Because I'm a terrible host.
Customer service.
Yes, it was customer service. Um, the difference between when there is that mistake, and we talked a little bit about it last week, but um, want to expand on it to the customer service, like the things like Punisher was saying earlier tonight, the little bit of extra books rather than giveaways, the different styles of customer service that you use that maybe other people might want to incorporate it into their streams and into their stuff. So again,
Can I
let's
start
go.
this one?
Yep, go
Yeah.
ahead.
If you don't mind.
Nope.
Yeah, please do.
Communication. If somebody sends you a message,
Yes.
respond. For the love of God, respond to them and listen and say, hey, show me pictures. And one of the biggest things you can always do is, all right, I can't fix that book. For example, say it was an exclusive, it was a one-on-one, blah, blah, blah. Or I can't fix the book itself, but what can I do to make this right? Because I want you to be happy. Look, if you want to, I'll pay for you to send it back to me. Uh, I apologize. I didn't sign. I had, for some reason, when I dropped the Christmas book, I didn't sign two people's books. It's my only 4.5 review because he said, oh, everything's great except he didn't sign the book. I said, listen, I will pay for you to ship it back to me. I will sign it for free and send it back to you. No, I don't want to do that. Well, I can't do anymore, but I at least gave the effort to show. Um, I don't have to say the situation, but there's somebody on this panel that made something aware to me, and we got it fixed. immediately. And it wasn't even my fix. It wasn't even my show, but it didn't matter. It
Not saying
and
who that was, but they went above and beyond to make that shit right. That's all I gotta
and
say.
and the customer services. Listen, I have like two short boxes full of books that either I don't want to sell on my show or whatever, and I am more than happy to give them as an extra thank you, an extra sticker. I have my own stickers made, which I've got to get remade, that I like to do a thank you for. I have noticed in many, many streams I've been in that people have my stickers showing right there. That's not only do they like the sticker, but that's great for me. When somebody comes in and sees my sticker on their thing, they're like, oh shit, there's the guy, the sticker that is. So, um, it's just about being personable, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's what it all. Make sure your shipping is good. For the love of God, if your shipping is not good, we talked about this. Customer service don't matter. You are shit. Point blank. That is the number one customer service. Somebody bought something from you. Damn it, get it to them the best you can with the best shipping you can to make sure they got what they paid for. Because I guarantee if you have over 1,000 sales, I guarantee you got that money in your bank account already before that book probably got there. So make sure you take care of your people and your people will take care of you.
Okay, Richard, what customer service do you use that might be different from everybody else?
Just own it. I mean, you are a human being. If you're a new seller, you will make mistakes. Just whatever you can do. And sometimes people are going to try to be shady as well. Just still own it. Just move past it. Um, Try to make it right. One person trying to screw you over is not going to kill you, but there will be legitimate times where a mistake happens. Own it, and don't just own it and try to make it right. Go above and beyond. Give them extra books. One of the other things I do in my shows, if the book is not like really high grade, but I do have it in there because I do need to flip my books regardless. Say if it's a 6.5 and the price is no more than $10, I'll say don't go over $10 on this because it's not worth over $10. Sometimes they do. They'll overbid it. So what I'll do when somebody does that, I'll throw in a couple extra, $3 to $5 books in there just to, again, that's way more than what they paid for the original book, but they overpaid for that book. And for me, I didn't want a potential one, bad review. Number two, I just didn't feel right because I know they overpaid for that book. So I tried to make it right. That's customer service. They didn't mention anything. They didn't ask. I warned them. But again, I want to make sure that my buyers are confident buying from me.
Okay. Skipping, what do you do that's a little bit different from everybody else? What do you like to do with your customer service? In case there's a problem, there's not, extra books. What is it?
Um, yeah, I do all of what everybody was saying for a lot of it. My one thing I do is I make sure to check my messages a couple, 3 times a day and respond to any messages, no matter what it is, even if it's just they're sharing a stream with me. I'll say thank you. I respond, right? If it's a situation where they're not happy, and I had a customer that wasn't happy this week, and it wasn't even that it was my fault that they weren't happy. He was putting blame on me because he said that my shipping the item should have been double boarded and everything like that, and I had indeed instructed my shipper to do so. Um, but as Punisher had said, the situation that happened, he obviously wasn't the last week or so. He hasn't really been 100%, right? And and his decline in mental health. He didn't double board the book like I told him to do. However, the book arrived in the condition in which I sold it, but the guy was upset because he did not see the ticks that I had pointed out, and he did not listen. He was listening on mute or watching on mute and didn't hear me say it's going to need a pressing. And so he was upset because now he has to press a book that he paid money for. And my solution was to listen, to watch the video a couple times, to really examine it, to reread his message. And my solution was to communicate with him on a higher level than what his frustration was. I pointed out that, yes, I had showed the spine a couple times, pointed out that there was a couple small ticks in the, and offer him the opportunity that if you are not satisfied, well, I asked him what he would like, what he needed to be satisfied, and I told him that I wasn't happy that what I had asked, because I had asked it on stream. When I handed it off to him, I said, make sure this is double boarded, right? I wasn't happy that it happened. And I told him that I would address that part of it. But it did arrive in the condition in which he purchased it in. So there wasn't a problem with the shipping, although there was a potential problem with the shipping because it wasn't double boarded, which is something I try to do on books that are a couple $100. And I mean, the higher dollar books, right? I talked to him and I expressed to him that, because he said, well, he said, I have a 1.1K sales. And I told him, congratulations on that. That's a huge milestone. I praised him on his 315 reviews that he's gotten 3.5 years. And I basically acknowledging what he's saying. And I was listening to him, and I said to him, you haven't expressed whether you want to return it for buyer's remorse or a refund, a partial refund for overpaying, in your opinion, for the book, which he got a good deal on. When I looked up the value of the book, even in maybe a 5.0, it was worth more than double than what he paid for it. I said, or did you just need to vent and have me listen to you? And he says, I'm not going to ask you for a refund, and I'm not going to ask you for to return the book. I said, okay, then I hear you. I hear you. And by the end of the conversation, we were talking about his children and becoming friends. And he's going to return. He's not going to leave me a bad review. And the sale is fine the way it was. He said it's okay, and he apologized for coming off so gruff and everything like that. But all he needed to be was heard, validated, and I would have given him a full refund. I would have let him return the book if he wasn't happy, as long as it was received in the same condition in which I sold it to him in. Right? I would have done that, even though it's not a whatnot policy. That's my policy. I would rather return a book and have a happy customer than have someone pissed off and feeling like they got the shaft. But on that is just that part of it, right? But on a bigger scale, customer service to me means knowing my customers the best I can, as much as they allow me to know them, providing things to them, maybe tagging them. I have a guy who he likes Lone Ranger, and he buys it for his dad, who is in his final years. And when I have a Lone Ranger book come up, I have either Zillow or one of my other mods that I'll say, hey, take this guy. And he comes in and he'll buy that book, and he's a good guy, a really good guy. And he could afford a lot more than what he's paying, and the book's worth a lot more. But I let him know I am happy that he's getting this book for his dad, and we communicate. He reaches out to me even when he's not in there. He himself is not a comic book guy, right? He's a toy guy, and that's how he initially found me. But like I said, his dad likes the Lone Ranger books. And so that's customer service. Reaching out to him when I have something to pop up. I have another guy who he goes to the senior home and reads the comic books to seniors, and they like the old Archie books or the old, Mickey Mouse, just old cartoony ones, right? Sometimes I'll toss a couple extra books in his thing for him to read to the senior citizens at no extra cost, because how kind is that, right? And it brings joy to all the seniors. When I'm out getting gifts for giveaways, I think of the people that I know in my stream that like certain things. Whether it's Punisher and he likes the He-Man, or Zilla, he likes Star Wars, or Fellers, he likes, the Jungle Girls, or Colin, he likes, uh, Black Panther. I mean, it's knowing your people, right? And I try and shop specifically, and then I do a little general shopping for the ones maybe I don't know as well, and I'm just still learning them. But I look for items that are for them, and that's part of customer service, right? Not just buying some stupid ass rocks and giving them rocks. That's me. That's my thing. But it's knowing them. It's asking them how they're doing, how their wife is doing, how their children is doing, and getting to know your customers on a deeper level.
Gotcha.
Now, I want to help. I want to help some other things and just mention, like, I want to be devil's advocate tonight with this. You're just going to have that customer that you just cannot please. The customer that's just going to be a pain in the ass. That no matter what you try to do for them, it's not going to work.
Guaranteed.
Tell them to go through whatnot. Tell them to put a claim through whatnot, because I will tell all of you that don't know this yet. For all of us that are established and have a 5.0 rating and thousands of sales, whatnot's not going to ding us for one person that's bitching and whining. After we have tried, because they're going to they can look at our chat, they can look that we went back, we tried to help this person. So there's just some people you cannot help.
Yep.
There's just some people that are not going to take any answer unless basically you give them the book for free and give them all their money back.
And I've had that happen.
Then you
And
have
that's
scam artists that are looking to get the book and still get money back. So you got scammers too. So just be cautious. But everything that was said was outstanding. I'm just making new buyers aware that these people are out there.
Yep.
That's true. That's
To
true.
to extend on this to the buyers out there that are in the channel, and to you as a new seller, to expand on what Punisher was saying, uh, if you like the seller and you do have a problem and you um, talk to them first, see what you can get done, see what they can do, but also know that putting it into whatnot will not harm the seller unless it gets repeatedly done a bunch of times. So actually going through whatnot sometimes is actually is definitely better than them refunding you the money via whatnot. It actually hurts them less by going through Whatnot to get it done. That's one. The second thing that Punisher brought up was communication. And when you're checking, and Skippin said checking your messages, one thing in Whatnot is a new feature that they put in the algorithm that kind of sort of
I've seen this.
puts them into like a spam folder in your messages. Also check that. So when you go into your message area, go to your top right corner. There's a button that's, you have to accept them with a message. And sometimes it's like a spam area in your messages. So always check that too, because some of your customers might be messaging you and it's not getting through.
Not only that, but if you think you find a scammer or somebody that's you just don't want to deal with, not I made a mistake. Listen, I'm going to fix it. This person that is coming in harassing you, this person is coming in, you feel like it's a scam, block their asses and make them go through Whatnot.
Yep, exactly.
Period.
Definitely. Definitely, because it does happen. I've had a couple people that have tried to bully and strong arm me, and when I tried to resolve the issue, they just said they weren't satisfied and didn't say what it was about, and they were dead stock purchases for $1, and they wanted their money back, and they wanted a key book, and I just told them to go through Whatnot and blocked them.
And I
Take it
can
up.
tell you this.
Look it up and whatnot. And that's not because I don't want to provide the best customer service, but that's because you can clearly tell what their motives are and what their whole agenda is, and Whatnot will not give you your money back for buyer's remorse. They won't give you your money back because you overbid, and they look at the messages. And if you're not responding, this is another thing on that whole responding to messages. I've noticed lately that there are some people that are below average on customer service, and or I believe it says below average or below expected level of customer service, and it'll come up when you look on their profile, where if you're above average or you are at the expected level for responding, it doesn't even show that tag. So if you're not responding to messages and you're just ignoring them, it's going to show in that they got that new algorithm thing. And I've seen it lately with some of my favorite people that I've shopped with, because they don't respond to their messages, and I haven't had a problem with them as far as communicating, right? Because I'm not needing to communicate with them outside of the show. But I noticed as of lately, one of my favorite sellers is at below level for customer service because he doesn't respond.
One thing I have noticed, and I have seen it over and over and over again, especially with female sellers, for some reason, these clowns think they can come in and bully female sellers or treat them a certain way
Yep.
until they get mods, and all of a sudden it changes.
Well, it doesn't always happen. It just happens less in the show. It still happens because it happens to me. It happened to me this week, like I said, and I was able to work it through. It happened to me a couple weeks back around Christmas time with a seller that was the one I had to block. And he was trying to bully me on the back side of things where the mods aren't there. And it happens. And if you're a female seller, you better be prepared that there's going to be the bullies out there that are going to take advantage and try and manipulate and con you and Armstrong you and I see it. I've even seen it on shows with the women sellers, and they'll say something, or and unfortunately a lot of times they have good mods, but sometimes they don't, and they just sit there and they'll peck and peck and peck and peck. And that happened to me as a brand new seller, and that's when Punisher had that's when Punisher and Zilla became my mods. That's when I learned about mods, right? It's because of a show where I just had pecking and pecking and pecking and pecking to the point where I was like, I was done and I was cussing people. I was like, it's over. It's a wrap. And had that been my first show, that would have been my last show. And thank you, Punisher. And thank you, Zilla. And thank you to my other mods for, stepping up and being the doorman.
I've seen it. And I'm gonna shoot a name out. It before I met you, Skip, and before you started Beauty in the Comics. She came on, and all of a sudden, all these people are like, how all these bozos coming in there. How did you get these books? Like, you don't deserve these books because you're a female. I'm like, she's a great seller. What the hell are you talking about? I was like, who cares how she got the books? I've just seen it over and over again with female sellers that these guys come in and they just like, I'm like, are you serious? Are you jealous? Like,
Yeah, you wonder what their motive is, huh?
The internet's a toxic place. It is what it is. I've seen it um, way too many times. It just is what it is. It's too bad, but yeah, it's and it's not just the female sellers. Some of the you see it on some of the newer sellers where they get just just bullied around. Like, hey, I see some of the buyers on whatnot that bully new sellers, and they're like, hey, run this book now, run this book now. I need to, my time's valuable. I want it run now.
I'm going to caution everyone on this. I am just going to caution because I know more about this than probably anybody else on this panel. If you are going to get into exclusives and you're going to get into your own books, be prepared for people coming in and trying to attack you for different things. I'm just throwing it out there because there's other people that don't want you there because they feel like you're stealing their part of the market.
That's true. That's happened to me.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Did we lose Richard? He's on mute.
I'm here.
Oh, um, yeah, no, I totally agree. But it is what it is. Again, everyone's not in competition. Uh, Everyone can help everybody else. Um,
Community.
yeah, it's like, let's face it, there's only so many books that really people want. Um, like there's a small section that really people want, right? Your ASM 300s, your 252s, your whatever. Your Everyone's going to have them, so you're going to be in competition. But as long as everybody does well, we're all better off.
But this is the community. Like, we see this. We like Skipping calls me or Soder calls me. You call me. This is the community that we all love or whatnot. But there is a dark side to whatnot, and a dark side of just people trying to manipulate and trying to destroy sellers.
Yep.
I'm not going to throw any names out there, and they know who they are. And anytime they want to, Punisher Rider wanted Instagram. You can come visit me anytime. All I'm saying to you is there is a dark side. So I
Yep.
suggest that you find that community, you combine that family, you find that tribe, and you guys stick together, support each other, and take care of each other.
Yeah, and I had an incident where apparently somebody that I thought was a buddy of mine that I chatted with a lot on whatnot. I bought from this person. They bought from me, and apparently in one of the streams they were talking shit about me, saying I don't know exactly who it was, but I have a pretty good idea. And you're gonna have that shit. The more you grow and the more you're successful. The thing is, everybody's got to eat, and as long as everybody's eating and supporting each other, if somebody's having a down show, that's what the community can do. You can say, hey, you can message Punisher Rider, you can message Surtur, you can message Jay Celeste, you can message Filthy, you can message Bailey, you can message. I mean, there's a long laundry list of people that'll come in and help. Shit talking somebody because they're doing well is not going to benefit you, and honestly, kind of makes you look like a fucking asshole, and you're probably going to lose some sales on that because the people like myself and the people I mentioned, you can tell by the way we interact, communicate, we support each other. When you jump into their shows, they're shouting you out. Shout out when your next show is. I've been, I've had instances where I've seen people get kicked out of shows because they said, "Hey, my first show is this Sunday." They were happy and just letting the people in who was running that show know, and yeah, they booted them out, called them names, and just insulted the shit out of them. You know, yeah, it might be whatnot standards, but that's not community. Um, just don't be a dick. I mean, is what it boils down to. Support each other, and you'll find out, and it's going to come around and get you too, both ways. So I'd rather get the support than be, have people talk like this about me on, bad behind my back. It just doesn't make sense. Especially, there's so many opportunities to build support just by entering streams, by communicating with people, by engagement. You don't, and not even about your own show, building their show up. That's that's what part of it is. Because you jump
Well,
into my show, you'll see Punisher. Skippin's been in there. You'll see Jay Celeste. You'll see, I mean, Bailey's. You'll see Filthy. You'll see Maria Collects. You'll see, Blackfish. You have all these people popping in there. That's they're not in there, shooting their own shows up. They're in there supporting me, and I'm shouting their shows up. That's a big
see,
part of it too.
I want to say something real quick, if you don't mind, on the whole bashing. I recently have been targeted by someone who is was a new seller, and I say that was, and he was, and I had went into his stream and I was trying to support, show support him being a new seller, and he was upset about a customer that had done him dirty, and he was venting about it, and I tried to encourage him to just like move past it. That happens sometimes. We block them, we move past it, and then he turned on me and thought I was the ringleader of the whole thing, and it dominoed from there. And he had made a target, me as his target, and he had been repeatedly on his shows talking shit about me. Well, as a result, and I just let it go because I feel my record is going to show for itself. The people that know me and have purchased from me will, and those who choose to engage in his nonsense, because his story had made no sense, that in his 800 sales, that I had stolen a couple books from him to sell on my show. And when I've got 13,000 sales and books stacked to the ceiling, that would even make sense. He's no longer a seller. And it didn't take me doing it. People reported him, and people will report you if you're doing it. So don't do it. Even if you're mad at the other seller, you're not happy with the other seller, ignore the other seller. Go on, just do you. Make the best out of your show. Make a community. Otherwise, you're not going to be there. He got kicked off of Whatnot. He came back on his girlfriend's and created a new account on his girlfriend's and was doing the same thing. And I found out one night when I was on a clothing show doing a co-host with a clothing seller, and we were talking about women's clothing. And somehow the person said, "Hey, oh my God, this guy, I was just on his stream." And they said the person's name, and he said that this is who it was, and that he's using his girlfriend's account, and he said, shouted out their name. Of course, everyone hopped over there to see what was happening, and he was bashing me on that show. Well, after I got off this co-hosting, I popped over, his show was off. And one of the people that was in that show had messaged me and said that they had reported him. And I assume what happened is Whatnot shut him down for a live emergency, kind of shut down. The show now, if you look at the stream, they're no longer allowed to sell. They're still on it. Their account's still active for buying, but they are no longer allowed to sell on Whatnot. Don't do it.
In short, if you need to vent, use one of your community members, call them up, text them, whatnot, message them, vent to that person. Don't do it on your stream. And you know what? Let them talk you off the ledge, talk some clarity to you. To be fair, I've done it. I've used Flatter Santa and Punisher Rider for exactly that situation because people tried to screw me over before. And they talked me off the ledge, gave me some great advice, calm the fuck down, and you know what? Life moved on. It was over after that. Don't
Exactly.
ruin your reputation by being a child.
Lies. I'm never. I would have said, jump, jump.
Jump, you small bastard.
I think my
So
part of my like, rolling around, making a full circle, is in my position, in my professional position. I have to deal with stuff like this all the time, and with all types of different scenarios. So I think being in that type of position helps me, because in the position I have to make quick decisions. I've got to make sure people are safe. I got to make sure that things are taken care of. And sometimes I've got to walk a motherfucker out. And at the end of the day, my life moves on. And for the people that want to come in and bash anything, I I think my reputation speaks for itself. And I really don't give two fucks, the haters. Come at me because I'll prove you wrong every time. Take the
Yeah,
high road. That's the thing. I keep anytime that I've ever had to deal with a situation, whether it's on Whatnot or in my personal business, take the high road.
exactly.
Always. Do not steep lower. We have all been in situations before in our lives that we have overcome, and we are still here. We are still rolling, and we are still kicking ass. So just remember that. We've overcame everything up until this point of our lives, no matter if it was physical, your health, tragedy, anything. We have all survived to this point.
Yeah, my motto, my thing is, my saying is, you don't have to jump in the mud and become a pig with them.
no, and trust me when I say I'm with you, because you know, with what I do for a living and whatnot, or not at whatnot, um, I could really, if I was revengeful and whatnot, that it wouldn't be good. But I've got to be smarter. As Punisher said, take the high road. You're be better, be right, do it smart. Because you'll still be there tomorrow where they probably won't be.
Exactly.
So, how is
Uh,
your business being a garden troll that goes to cons?
yeah, that's not. Yeah. By the way, for those that don't know, um, no, I'm not a garden troll that goes to con. I'm a security engineer. Like I own a cybersecurity consulting firm. But um, trust me, I'm many a times I'm like, I really wish I could let loose some of the stuff that I know and hurt people, but you can't. You just can't do it.
So if any of you get that mysterious donkey porn just happen to pop up on your computer someday, you know who it is.
Yeah, it's Richard. He
I've
goes to
been
Mexico
wondering
all
Stay
the
why
off
there's
my
time.
been
files,
midgets
you
showing up
bastard.
on my Instagram.
Um, yeah, but any other questions that the panel want to talk about? If there's anything that that the chat might want to talk about. If you're a new seller, if you're a buyer, maybe you want to know about, what you're thinking about selling.
I got something.
Okay.
I don't know who you have for Monday night, but I think it's time for an NWO takeover. Me and Richard want JS Less's ass.
I'm in. I'll figure it out.
Um,
Oh wait, Matt.
what?
Is
No,
it? Oh, it is a
Matt's
takeover.
J Slash one.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Yep, I did see it. That's right.
Yeah, no, he won. I think we're just going to. I'm going to play the evil. What's his face? Not Hugh Hefner. Was it Hebner? The referee guy, and I'm going to keep you
Earl Hebner.
outside. Yeah, Earl Hebner. Keep you outside and be like, no, you can't come in. No more.
I got a baseball bat. I'm okay with that.
Well,
That
I
was a
would
good
say you
show, by the
guys
way,
know where
guys.
I live, but you don't. No, possibly Punisher. I really I've kind of been super busy lately, so I'm trying to
Okay,
catch
here's
up.
the excuses start coming.
Why complain,
I'm a
and this is the
cybersecurity
complaining.
gnome at the con.
Yes. Uh-huh. This is what I gotta put up with, chat. You see this? He tries to run me over, he complain, all he does is complain. Wah 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 wah.
Shows his butthole or threatens to
Yeah,
show his
yeah,
butthole.
exactly.
Yeah, there's
Tries
rules
to get
on
me.
bragging rights because of me.
Yes, exactly. Because I almost got kicked off of YouTube. They're like, if you don't get rein in that Punisher guy, you're gone. No,
But
it's a lot of
I
fun.
want everybody to know, in all serious note, that Whatnot is a very special place. It is a very special place, and you get out of it what you put in it. Um, you meet great people, you can make some money, your dreams can come true. You start working towards this, you put the time in. You let me There was a book that I wanted so bad and I told the story. I've only had 50 comics before I started. There was a book I really, really, really wanted, and I just didn't want to put the money out. Whatnot helped me get that. Not including one of my exclusives. Whatnot helped me get my Grail book at that time. Now it has grown tremendously, but I'm just saying, your dreams could come true. Things that you never thought you could ever do could come true. You get to entertain. You get to make money. You get to be kind of like a pop culture icon in a way. Certain people, you're kind of like a wrestler where, like Dwayne Johnson, he's known as The Rock. Everywhere I go, I get called Punisher or Punisher Rider. I don't get called by my own name. We were in Baltimore and somebody called me by my real name. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, who the hell are you? And it was an employee that I used to have years ago. I was like, oh, hey. But at the end of the day, it's kind of an escape for reality of your everyday life also, where you get to interact and be with people. And most of the time the shows are fun, they're enjoyable. When something happens, or I have had a lot of fantastic laughs and just great moments over the period of time. All the bad stuff we talked about is just all part of it, but at the end of the time, the good times, the people you meet, it's just amazing. It really is. And if you really want it and you really want to put yourself out there, you have more opportunities on Whatnot than probably almost anywhere else. You're not going to get the same opportunity on eBay. You're not going to get
Mm.
the same opportunity in a lot of other places. You may have a one hit viral video on YouTube or a viral video on Instagram or TikTok, but here you can build something and make a name for yourself and be a part of something. So that just remember all that it's not just about selling books or selling whatever you sell. It's a lot more,
The
and it can be a
piggyback,
lot more.
yeah, to piggyback on that, everything you're saying is 100% true. But there is a caveat. You have to put in the work. You have to be able to make sacrifices. You have to involve yourself with the community, go out there, intermingle with people, build your brand up, and all this stuff, like we were saying earlier, everything we've been talking about for all these weeks all ties into that. You have to do it right. You have to put in your blood, sweat, tears. You have to have great customer service. You have to learn how to be able to market yourself and your brand. All this stuff plays into it. If you can, I mean, I'm a freaking dude from central Minnesota, and people recognize me at Terrificon, in freaking Connecticut. Hey, yes, it happened. You can ask Mel. It was freaking awesome. It was like I felt like a celebrity. But that's what happens if you take the time, you build a brand. Don't try to take shortcuts. Don't think it's easy. Put in the work. Watch this freaking YouTube channel that this bald bastard's running every Wednesday. You're gonna learn a lot, and you got people out here that want to help you. But you Punisher Rider said, your dreams can come true. I'm living proof.
And I like to piggyback off of that, Richard. I've had the fortunate of setting up at 2 cons this year, and I can tell you it is very humbling and very amazing when people are coming up to your booth and are happy to see you. They're like, "Oh my God, you're Punisher Rider or Surtur." I'm just it makes you feel really special. It really does. And it can happen for every single brand new seller. It can happen for anyone to be able to get to that point. But I work very, very hard. And I can tell you, I not only work my real job, but for the last week, I've been up till 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to help get with critical hits to get Skippin's second coloring book done. My phone runs all day. Anytime somebody needs me or I'm helping other sellers, I'm getting ready to drive down to Delaware to help a seller. I'm flying up to Michigan. I'm just saying that I am working all the time. So I am putting in the work, even though I'm only doing a show once a month. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't know what I do. And we're working on projects, and I've got this working, and I've set up meetings between sellers and artists, and so I put in the work, and I know everybody else in this stream puts in the work, and all the people that I know put in the work each and every week to get where they are, and that's why you see what you see from them.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden work behind the scenes that you may not realize if you're considering being a seller or you're just a new seller and you're just stepping your foot into his door. It's probably starting to hit. If you're as you grow to achieve that growth, you have to put in the work. You have to. And do not think that just because you're on stream for 2 hours a couple times a week or 4 hours a couple times a week, that's a wrap and that's all it takes. It's not an easy task. I put in more hours work doing this than I would a full-time job.
Yep. It's the old adage. A lot of times you're happier working 80 hours a week for yourself than you would 40 hours a week for someone else.
Yes, and this is much more rewarding and satisfying, and it doesn't feel like work as much because of all the joy that it brings to my life. But don't think that it's just going to be a wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of thing. It takes, like we also said, it takes the work, it takes the dedication, the communication, the everything that we've said. It takes all of that and more because there's a lot of things we still haven't touched.
Yeah,
Adaptability.
it's
Very much.
the logarithmic increase. And what we haven't ever talked about is the idea that the growth of scale that you get when you get more stuff, how much extra work in the background is required,
Amen.
like to keep that growing and moving in a positive manner. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I work a lot harder now because of shit Flat Earth's taught me with books. I'm like,
uh,
now I'm looking at shit I never looked before, so that's just more time.
yeah. You see, I get blamed for everything, chat. You see this? This is the crap I have to deal
Listen,
with.
I gotta reflect. I gotta start blaming you because I get blamed for everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, what I'd like is anybody that's in the chat, if you're a new seller, please, after the show's over or whatnot, put in the comments topics that you'd like to see. I constantly, or if you see me in a stream on whatnot, say, hey, I'd like to see this talked about, or message me on Instagram, or message one of the panelists here and they'll relay it off. We want to help out everybody. So if you've got a question and I know many people don't want to say, I don't know this, or I don't know about this, or I don't know about that. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get judged. It's ask every single person that's on this panel and everybody that's been before and will be after. Love helping people. It really is fun. So ask away, please.
And understand, we don't know every fucking thing either. The
No.
market changes so often. That's why I was saying adaptability. You have to be able to pay attention. And that's where it does help going on other people's streams. See what people are buying. Pay attention to, some of these YouTube channels on what they're promoting. See if you have any of that in there because, when Comic Tom's saying this is the hot book of the week, a lot of people don't listen to that, but a lot of fucking people do. So just pay attention to things. You got to be adaptable. You got to be smart. And nobody knows everything, but the people that are on the show every week, we've been through the rounds. We've seen the ups and downs. We see the cycles with even within a calendar year, the ups and downs. What not to sell these books? When are these books better? Just simple things like that. It comes with experience. You get a shortcut by talking to us and listening to us. So you don't have to be nervous about not knowing everything. We don't either, but we know how to navigate it and can probably help you navigate that too.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're sitting at about $1:30 on time. So if no one else has any other topics, we'll go around the horn, let everybody tell them about their whatnot streams if you don't already know. So um, we'll give it a second in case anybody in the chat or anybody in the panel wants to talk about something.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Then we'll go around the horn. Skipping, where can people find you? Where can they get you on the Instagrams, on the social medias, on the whatnots?
Well, first off, thank you again for letting me join you guys. I appreciate you guys more than you know. You definitely lifted my day, and it's always a pleasure. You can find me on Whatnot, typically Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, but this week I'm taking Thursday off due to a family situation. But I'm going to be there Friday, and on Friday I'm going to be dropping my first exclusive a coloring book that Surtur produced for me. That's going to be huge. The money the proceeds from that is going to be donated to a veterans cause. Um, I'm also going to be officially announcing it. This is kind of an unofficial announcement, and Punisher had said that he had been working on it. The second coloring book, which I'm doing with Critical Hits, Chris over there, and several members of the community, where we are putting together the second coloring book, which is more family friendly. Children friendly, which is going to all the proceeds to that is going to be going to a foundation called Pets for Vets that helps homeless pets be connected with veterans that are injured, be it emotionally or physically, through their time of service. And it helps them not only get the pet that helps them heal, but it helps them keep that pet in a healthy state. And I would love it if everybody could join me Friday and get a copy. The first one is a much more smaller run. The second one is going to be a larger run, but it's still a limited run. And I'm hoping to do a series of them this year, with every one of them being a cause to give back to the community. It's nothing I'm making money on. But I've chosen the first two to go to our veterans in one fashion or another, to really thank them for their service and let them know that they are cared about. Saturday, I'm starting the train, doing a ray train. It's not it's not mine, but I've been asked to start the train, be the engine of it, and with a lot of smaller sellers, and that's going to start at 4:00 on Saturday, and all this is 4:00 Pacific time. And to follow suit with several other smaller sellers to get them some exposure, and they all seem to be really great sellers, of different levels. Owner Oman Bids is one of those sellers, and I hope you guys join me on that. And then Sunday is at 4:00 Sunday as usual, and then I'll be back again next week on my regular schedule, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, 4 p.m. I want to also mention that owner over at Omen Bids has put together a Discord server to bring page, or whatever you call it, channel, to bring sellers and buyers together. So if you're looking for a book and would like, or if you're a seller and you want to be part of it, connect with him, Omen Bids, OmenBids, on Whatnot, and he will hook you up on that. And his goal is to help people find books that maybe they can't find just in the general fashion of things, and sellers to help connect them to the buyer that may be looking for a book that you're selling. And that's his goal on it. He too, Santa, is in cybersecurity. Just FYI, you got a friend indeed.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'd love it. Like I said, I'd love it if everybody would come over. And coloring for me is like artwork is for many of the artists that do it. Everybody, I think, should have an avenue to escape or de-stress, or have something as an outlet in life. And coloring is, because I don't have the skill to draw, is my outlet. And I know there's a lot of adults that, and even children, that like coloring. And so that's why I've chosen coloring books. That it just came off on a just offhanded comment that I wanted to color one of Surter's books and do it, color one of his pictures, and everything's dominoed from there. And if you are an artist and would like to participate in that, reach out to me for one of the next ones. I would like to, I was thinking maybe one a quarter, but it's happening faster than I could ever imagine with the second one going to print this week. And so if you would like to participate in it, I would love to talk to you about it. And whether you wanted to do your own exclusive with me or be part of a joint exclusive, I think it's a beautiful gift, and it's one that is not one that you'll be paid for. It's a volunteer thing, and The money would be then donated to a cause and of a community cause. There's some I would like to donate at some point, one to maybe some sort of children's foundation of some sort. As you know, we did a diabetes fundraiser in December where I was able to raise $2,500, or I wasn't. The community raised $2,500 to donate for diabetes, and hopefully, helping towards the cure and prevention. And we got prick dolls for little kids that are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes. And anybody who has a suggestion for a good cause, I'd love to hear that too for a future book, because excuse me, all that's worth entertaining. And whether you want the book for yourself, with it being the first one, which is more focused towards a more mature audience, um, or whether you're interested in the second one, which is definitely focused to all ages, please join me. And thank you again. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. It's definitely an honor to serve on the panel and be your friend.
Cool. Thank you again, Mr. Punisher. Where can they find you? And let them
Well,
know
let me
where to stay,
say,
where to stay away from.
let me say that I have seen both coloring books. I have had a lot of influence on the second one. I could tell you that the Surtur coloring book that's going to be dropping this Friday is going to be super, super amazing. That you get to color a lot of Surtur's art inside and do your own. And the second one, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but
Oh,
adults.
it's already been shown. It's already been
Okay.
shown to okay,
I can tell
critical
you there's
critical
12
shown it.
12 different streamers have volunteered their pets, and we have turned pets into superheroes. And it is absolutely insanity, amazing fun. Adults and kids are going to absolutely love it. I have been thrilled. Unfortunately, the West Coasters think that us East Coasters live in the future, but I have stayed up with Critical, going over things and trying to, help him put stuff together, being in messaging. Um, I've been very happy to be part of it, to help Skipping out. And anytime Skipping needs me or anybody here needs me, I'm always here for them. Um, but I'm Punisher Rider. I have a show on the 24th, I think it is, the Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the following. I hit my 3,000 followers. I don't stream all the time. So 3,000 followers, I hit that milestone. So I'm going to do a 3,000 follower extravaganza. I can tell you that me and Surtur are almost finished with this major project that we have been working on, and we had our first Zoom meeting to go over things last week. And I can tell you, for the first time, I jumped out of my seat when I saw some of the stuff. I I was, and the details and everything will be coming shortly, and we will start. But unfortunately, we have to keep things top secret because we just want to do it that way. We want everybody to be surprised, but I could tell you. And today I had a conversation with something with Surtur, and I think for the summer of this year, we're going to do something. I came up with an idea, and believe it or not, Surtur loved it, which never happens. I think we're going to change the game even again. So we are
Ooh.
super excited. We've got tons of work to do this year. We're still talking about going to different places. Dallas is up in the air, Toronto, Terrificon, and Richmond. Right now, we're still talking about some other locations. this show. If you guys want to come out and see me, you can get me a Punisher Rider 1 on Instagram. It is a private account. But if I see you and I know you who you are, or if I look on your Instagram and I can see that you're legit into comics and not some flake, then I'll be more than happy to put you in my Instagram. And I appreciate all the panelists. I appreciate my NWO new brother
Hell yes. Yes.
and Skipping. You know, I've been there since the beginning and I love you to death. And Flat, well, you can go fuck yourself, but you know, I
Oh,
love you too.
Screw you, screw you in the house, you red alien. Yes.
No, we've all been here for each other, and it's great to always have these people you know you can always count on.
Mr. Richard Soder.
Well, Soder Pop Comics. You can find me on Whatnot under Soder Pop _comics. We run shows Sunday noon Central, and we have Tuesday night trivia that starts at around 6:15 on Tuesdays. That is super fun. Basically, we every book you buy, you can buy 10 books, you get 10 freebies then. But in order to do that, we ask stupid fucking trivia questions, and it's been going extremely well. It's a great time. We kind of throw people off with some of the weird shit we come up with for trivia questions, but it's really awesome. I'm trying to figure out another 2 days a week to do it. I want to get rid of some of the bulk, so that might be like an afternoon show one of the days. But yeah, I want to expand. I have to expand, like we were Flat was talking earlier. The more that you get in inventory, the more work you have to do. So and you have to turn and burn it. So trying to figure that out. But make sure you give me a follow. Yeah, we've grown exponentially. A lot of it is due to the people that are in the chat, on the panels. It's family. And motherfuckers, I am a member of the NWO now. Oh yeah, just excited as shit. That made my freaking month. You have no idea. All right. And you can also find me on Instagram, rick.soder.mn. And you can find me on Facebook, Rick Soder. It's just a picture of me and my wife. Pretty easy to spot. Sexy bald dude with a pretty little lady sitting next to him. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, for me, of course, we've got bragging rights every
All right,
Monday
show's
night.
over. Everybody can go home now.
Yep. Go ahead.
Everybody take
Yep. Bye bye.
a good night.
Yep. We've got. See, the thing is, they bust me, but that's all right. I can take it.
it's all in love. It's
Yeah.
all in love.
Well, maybe from Rick, but from Punisher, I'm not quite so sure. I think there's a deep-seated hatred there, but you know, it is what it is.
Facts.
uh, see, you got to stop. See, you got to do it funnier when you do it. When you put facts, you're like FACTS. No, it's got to be FAX. That's the way it should be. That's the way
This
it's
isn't
proper.
Canada. We spell shit right.
No, you don't. It's the Queen's English. You leave U's out of everything. Uh, okay. Monday nights, bragging rights. 3 people come on. 1 person gets to come back as the champion. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. It's getting close. There is some people, they're going to have to get a couple more things, but it's February the 17th is the annual, by the way, was when we started. So it'll be February 18th is the final show of the season.
Wouldn't it be
Uh,
the week before that? Otherwise, you're
nope,
going a year and
no,
another
no,
week.
no, no, no. We're doing it at. I'm breaking my own rules.
All right, man. It's your show. You do what the fuck you want.
Who's the leader of the pack?
That is me, sir.
Richard, that would be Richard right now.
Who's second?
You, then Matt, then actually Matt and Bruce are close, almost tied. JSP. Oh no, JSP's actually right near you too. I have to look at the list. again. But yeah. So it's really cool, really close. I'm hoping, truthfully, I hope we get down to the final show where it's all tied up and it's, you know, it's two of the three people are going for the title. I'd love it to be that. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to. But we'll see.
There's going to be a
You
lot of
never know.
devious shit in the background that need to happen for that, but I'm
Yeah,
okay with
unfortunately.
that.
um,
I'll give up my lead to make sure that happens.
okay. Of course, what not, why not? Every Wednesdays, there's going to be some new segments coming in the coming weeks to what not, why not. I'll talk about it in future shows. And you can get me on Instagram at Flatter Santa. You can get me on Whatnot, Flatter Santa. I also am FES Comics, which I'm starting to do shows again on Whatnot, as well as the FES Comics Instagram will be live next week, starting Monday. And there you go. There's what the Instagram stuff will be like.
What does FES stand for? Fucking elf seller?
Yes, exactly. That's
I have
exactly what it is.
I have a request, and it doesn't have to be a full topic, just like an opinion poll for like next week's show.
Sure.
Sellers selling their non-graded books at graded prices. So a
Yeah.
9.8 raw at a graded CGC 9.8 price.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about that because actually there's sometimes reasons for it and sometimes not. But yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Okay. Well, again, thank you to the panel. Thank you to the chat, guys. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. You make it awesome. It's an absolute blast. I'm gonna play us out. Whoever wants to stick backstage can. Um, and thank you again, guys. We will see you next week. And why is my stuff gone? There it is. And we're playing you out. Good night, everybody.